Rate, volume, and clarity are really important issues to be thinking about when it comes to using our vocal elements to deliver our speech. Rate and volume help us with a lot of different things, and one of the big things that they help us with is comprehension. If we speak too quickly for our audience to keep up or to actually hear everything that we have to say, then that really impedes comprehension. So to have a good control over our rate and make sure that the rate is being conducted in a way that allows for comprehension is a really important point of emphasis. The same goes with volume. If we don't speak loudly enough and the audience misses key things because they can't hear those things, then we've detracted from our message in that way. So both rate and volume are closely connected with comprehension. They're also very closely connected with emphasis, because we can shift our rate to let the audience know that we've reached a really important point. If we slow down to discuss something that we've singled out as key to our message, then it gives the audience a chance to say, hey, something's going on here. This person slowed down. Maybe I should attend to this a little bit more. And then by giving them that extra time, they're now able to process that important information more than they would be if we went through that too quickly. The same goes for volume. We can increase our volume when we get to key things. And we can also, if the occasion calls for it, decrease our volume and increase the impact that that decrease in volume has by meeting the situation. We talked a lot about that with regard to emotion. We can do that by lowering our voice and really meeting the expectations of those emotions with how much volume we present. And then the final thing related to rate and a little bit to volume is that pauses tend to get kind of a bad rap when it comes to speeches and communication in general. As a society, we don't like a lot of silence in the conversation, so we think those pauses should be really short if they're there at all. But pauses can be really awesome, not only for us as speakers, but for the audience. They allow us the opportunity to make sure that we're still in control of our speech, because sometimes we get revved up and we keep going and going and going, and then everything sort of spirals out of control from there. So it gives us a little more control over the rate, and then it gives us a chance to kind of collect our thoughts and make sure that we're going to hit the next key idea and do that as powerfully as we can. And it's in that silence that we really can emphasize those key things and allow our audience a way of comprehending. That's a time where they can think about what we just said. And so the use of the pauses for our own value and for our audience's benefit is a really important thing, and it's okay to embrace that pause. As long as it's there to serve a purpose, that's what you want. If the pause is in there and it goes on and on and on, obviously it kind of presents you as not quite knowing what you're talking about. But if the pause is there and you wait and let people think and give yourself a chance to emphasize the next point, well, that's a great use of that space in the speech. And finally, the last aspect I want to talk about here is clarity. Clarity really comes down to our ability to communicate those ideas that we want our audience to get. And one of the big things here is pronunciation. And I've had a few speeches in the past where a speaker has stumbled over a word, and that's you expect that. Sometimes you just get tongue-tied. But then there are times where they just simply mispronounce the word or somebody's name. And what that does is it actually kind of hurts their credibility because it doesn't express a great understanding of what that word is or who that person is. So to be able to pronounce those things not only helps in expressing those ideas, but it also helps communicate our credibility. And if you tie this to delivery, we now see that it's not just the words, but how we deliver those words that really makes an impact on our audience.